Good morning. Squirrel just ran by. Welcome to Quantum Liberty Day 90. Good morning, birdies. There's some water. We're doing the DeStress series, Day 90, and today on the phone, I have Gabe. Gabe is 9 years old, and he and his sister, twin sister, Aurora, had some interesting comments the other day. They were talking about some things that they were feeling inside of them. So today I thought we would do some tapping because they're learning tapping and doing really well. So I have I have Gabe on the phone here. Morning. And Aurora will be right here too. So Gabe, let's start tapping. Gabe had a very interesting conversation that he brought up the other day. And he was saying that he had a lot of anger inside of him. Aurora said she didn't feel anger inside of her. She was feeling good, but I was very happy for one thing, Gabe, that you brought this up, because inside of you, we did some talking about the way that I would help my son, that's Zachary, to deal with this. And so Gabe has a mom and dad who are both MDs, and they're dealing with COVID-19. And so Gabe has been hearing about stories that are in the hospital, and so he has some anger about things that he's been hearing. And so we talked a little bit about what I would tell Zachary, my son, when he was younger. And inside of him, he has anger, and he has fear, and he has confusion and different emotions inside of him that he can feel. And the most powerful tool that we have right now is understanding ourselves and how we feel. So it was very courageous and extraordinary and beautiful for you to share how you were feeling. And I really love you for that. So I would like to just talk a little bit about what we were talking about for Zachary. Remember, what we were talking about was that Zach had a fear, and it was like monsters, and the thing that would counter and get rid of the monsters was ducks quacking, right? And so we just like made that up. But one thing that we talked about that worked really well was I asked Zach, and I asked Gabe the other day, a couple days ago, so what is it that makes fear? And what is it that makes anger inside of you, right? And any of these emotions, really. Because for every emotion, you have a counter emotion. Like for anger, you have forgiveness, right? Inside of you is all this resource. For confusion, inside of you, you have clarity. And for something like fear, you have courage inside of you. So for anger, you have, Gabe was saying he felt angry, and he's been out of school. He can't see his friends, and he has a girl that he really likes, so he can't see her. And so he has anger inside of him. And he's like, yeah, well, what am I going to do with that? Well, there's a thought, and Krishnamurti talks about a fear. He wrote a whole book. It's really tiny, but it's great, and it's called On Fear. And basically, it's very simple, really, when you get down to it. And this is what I would tell Zach. So, and we talked a little bit about this, Gabe, but maybe a little bit more clearly. So, when you have fear, what is it, right? Fear is something happening in time, and it's also a thought. So it's thought in time. So you have to have time right, to think the thought, and you have to have a thought of being afraid over time to have fear. So if you take one of those things away, if you take, let's say you took away the time, then all you have is a thought, but no time thinking the thought, so you can't have fear, right? So then let's say you take away the thought, right? And you just have time. Here you are in time, being you without the thought. So when you take one or the other away, you don't have the fear, right? And you don't have the anger. But the thing about tapping, so when we tap on this karate chop point and start tapping again, and we're going to do the 3 setup statements, right? And we're going to tap on this anger that you have, that this pandemic is going on and you can't go to school and you can't see your friends. That's really a valid feeling, and it's inside of you, right? So what we're going to do, this point right here, this karate chop point right here, if you feel anger and confusion and you feel fear and you're scared, of course go to your parents, right? And tell them about that. And then you can also tap right on this point right here. And what this does is you have these neurons that are firing and sending a signal to a certain point of your brain that says, you know, rage and anger, or really get scared, or fight, right? Fight that, and I hate that, and I'm really angry about it. So what you can do is you can say, well, all right, I have this anger inside of me, right? And we're going to do 3 setup statements, and we're going to tap on that anger. And what we're going to do too, what this does, is it slows down the firing. Oh, I didn't have that book. Hang on just a sec. I got this great thing here. Yeah. So this is Ledoux, a scientist who did experiments, and when we tap on this point right here, right, so that slows down the firing to the amygdala, which stops or slows down the release of adrenaline and cortisol into our body, which gives us the fight flight, or we're going to fight this, or we're going to be really angry, right? But what it does is it slows down that firing to that system, and instead what happens is, instead of the capillaries in your prefrontal cortex where you think about the next best thing to do or the next best thing to say, like maybe instead you would say to your friends, I really miss you, right? You would forgive the process instead of having the anger. When you're tapping on this, the oxygen stays in this prefrontal cortex, because instead of the vessels clamping down so that the oxygen can run from danger, sending the oxygen to your arms and legs so you can run from, you know, the big woolly mammoth that's crashing through the field or something. And so what you do is, instead you're tapping here, and instead of the oxygen, the vessels constricting like that up here, they stay open. And what happens is, when we have that response, that anger, that fear, right, and we tap on this, then what happens is, instead of the vessels constricting like that, they stay open. And when they do constrict within 1 to 14 seconds after you're triggered, like you have that thought, oh, I can't see my friends today because there's still a pandemic. It's going to go on till March probably. So instead, when you're tapping, instead of having the capillaries go squish down 70%, see that bottom picture there? They get much more narrow. But when you tap, it stays nice and wide. And then the oxygen can go to your prefrontal cortex, which is your self-awareness center, and you can think about the thing that you would like to do. Like, okay, I'm really mad because this pandemic is on and I have to stay on the computer and I don't get to see my friends at school. So when you're tapping like that, you also have inside of you forgiveness. And you understand that there are things that we have to do so that everybody, like grandma and grandpa, stay healthy. And so we'll tap on these points so you can think about the next best thing to do. Like you can set up a Zoom meeting. You could set up like a Minecraft world or Dungeons and Dragons. You could be the leader of a game session where you could be with your friends and with your girlfriend. Hi, Aurora. Hi, sweetie. So we're just extending on this little conversation. Remember we were talking? So, and it's about, we're going to tap on when we have feelings like anger or fear or sadness that you tell mommy and daddy, and you also, or your brother, and then you also just, you can tap on this point, and you guys know all the other points. So we're going to tap on, let's tap on that anger. Okay, Gabe? Let's also tap on health. So we're going to close our eyes and imagine ourselves in beautiful, radiant health and feel inside of you, understand inside of you what you have inside of you. So if you have, let's say you're picturing yourself in running, skipping, biking, you know, running around and having a great time in radiant health, imagine that you have all of that inside of you. And if you feel the anger there too, identify where it is in your body. Where is that anger staying? Like, is it in your heart, or is it in your tummy? Is it in your brain up here? Just identify where it is, and then give it a number 0 to 10. Where 10 is the most anger you have about this situation, and 0 is no anger at all, and you're ready to rock and roll and be healthy and vibrant and happy and running and skipping. Okay, so the bottom line is the that we all come from a place of this quantum field where we emerge into a conscious being with matter from stardust. It's really quite an incredible thing. So let's tap on our let's tap on understanding all of the possibilities within. There's a rainbow on the ground. Let me show you that. That it's next to Caesar's toys. All right, so even though, repeat after me, even though, I'm tapping on a karate chop point, even though I have this anger inside of me, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this anger raging inside of me, and it makes me go, wah, like you said the other day, I honor that. I hold it. I have my own back. I know there's forgiveness too. And I deeply and completely accept and love every part of me exactly as I am. Even though I have this raging anger inside of me because of this pandemic, and I don't get to see my friends, and it makes me mad, I also have forgiveness inside, and I honor every single feeling, and I listen within, I listen to my feelings, and I understand all the possibilities inside me, and I deeply and completely love and accept every part of me exactly as I am. Good going, guys. You're like in unison. Here I am on this journey. This anger. I'm so mad. This pandemic makes me mad. This virus closed my school. It gets in the way of me seeing the people I love. That makes me very sad. And after sadness comes anger. I understand myself. I listen to myself. I listen to my feelings. I'm on a journey within. Oh, Chen, it's safe to look there. I honor every feeling I have. There is an opposite feeling to everything in me. When I have anger, I also have forgiveness. When I have confusion, I also have wisdom. When I have doubt, I also have clarity. When I have fear, I also have courage. There is a counter opposite to everything. Deep inside of me. I listen. I understand with love everything that's inside of me. I do the tapping if I have overwhelm, so that I can think about the next best thing to do. I can sit down with my parents and talk with my friends and ask, what options do I have? How can I have this? How can I have joy again? How can I have these wonderful, good feelings? They're inside of me too. I understand all the possibilities are in me, and they're limitless. Right here in my body, I can feel way better. I am that person. And I feel way better. And I can think of the next best thing to do. And make a plan and follow it through. Hope that makes you feel a little bit better, Gabe. Thanks so much for sharing. Wow, you guys are so courageous. Here's the puppy. Come. There he is. Hello. Love you guys. Bye.